Ave Maria, this is Friar Terence reporting from Italy. We're just south of Rome in Cassino, which is a location of a very famous shrine, Monte Cassino, where St. Benedict and St. Scholastica are actually buried. And I'm here with two of our brothers, one from America, Fra Anthony, and one from Canada, Fra Jose Maria. And I'm going to ask them to tell me a little bit about what they've been doing the past year, and also to tell me a little bit about where we are as well. And while I'm interviewing them, we'll also be showing you some clips of the friary that they're at here in Via Santa Lucia, it's called, and which is also the house of formation for the philosophy students here in Italy. It's very, very beautiful. All the students who study philosophy for the priesthood of the friars actually come here to Italy to study. So in the house, there are different types of people. Fra Anthony, could you tell me a little bit about what you know about the house and maybe just a little bit about who's here?
Well, I've heard a lot of stories, but most of them were in Italian, so I don't know them very well. But there was a blessed that was here. I don't know when he was here, but Blessed Lodovico. I really don't know what Blessed Lodovico was known for, but he lived just above we have a little chapel, and he lived just above the chapel. We have a couple of statues of him here. But the story of this, there was the war here, the Second World War. And so whenever we go and sit down at table with people, oh, you're an American. The Americans bombed us here. Yeah. And you can still find remnants of the war. You go on a walk up the mountain here, and I found 2 bombs. One of them still active, and just right there in the rock, and it's all written in English what kind of bomb it is.
Wow.
Yeah, I asked to bring it down and show it to one of the priests. And, no, don't bring that down here. So a month later, when I asked, can I go on a walk in the mountains? But don't you bring any bombs down here.
Very good. How many brothers do we have in the house, and where are they from? Any ideas on the numbers?
I don't know how many brothers are here right now. There's 18. I think there's 18 students, 17 students, and there's 2 religious brothers, and there's two priests, our superior, and they both teach. But we're from all over the world. There's a couple of Filipinos. There's a couple of Africans. There's a couple of Americans. There's a couple of from England. So there's people from all over the world.
Very good. Now, as far as last year goes, most of the people watching this will remember that you two were in the novitiate house last year in Griswold, and so they've missed you for a year in the States. And I'm going to ask what you've been doing the past year. If you can give us an update, I'm going to ask Fra Jose Maria. I know you mentioned to me off camera that you've been doing absolutely nothing, but can you elaborate on that? Because I'm sure you've been doing something. You've at least been learning the language, right?
Well, I've been trying to learn the language. It's a big difference, and basically just learning the language, and that's about it.
Now, where now you were stationed obviously somewhere in Italy. You
Right.
weren't in this house. Where were you stationed?
Well, it's interesting. I was stationed at Rome, which was first the philosophy in the theology house or philosophy house. But the thing was, there was too much work, so what they had to do was they had to move the students here.
The first year, usually when foreign students come, they're allowed to learn the language for the first year, because in order to study philosophy and theology, most of the classes are taught in Italian. So what were you doing, though, in the house? Were you studying the whole time, or did you have any work to do?
Well, I was the assistant sacristan, and I helped out basically, with a little bit of everything around the house.
Mm-hmm.
Practically a little bit of
So
everything.
cleaning, cooking.
Right. Yep.
Well, just a quick question about Italian cooking. Any different from American cooking?
Of course, there's no burgers here. They don't know what rice is.
I know. You said you did absolutely nothing. It sounds like you did do some things and also pick up the language as well. I'm going to ask Fra Anthony, because I know he was traveling a bit last year, doing some different things. What were you up to last year, Fra Anthony?
Well, I was stationed by the providence of God in this convent with Father Settimio, and he's our superior, and he's the rector of the students here. But every function that happens within the institute, there's always a big important mass, or there's something important going on. We tend to go to it, and we serve all the masses. So that put us all around Italy pretty much every week for a year. So been very fortunate to see most of Italy, but I didn't pick up the language very well because I never studied. We were always on the road, always preparing for new masses, because this year was very important with the mass. It was we had several pontifical high masses with important cardinals, with important bishops. Our ordinations were in the traditional rite, and so that caused us to prepare for a lot of things. But so, anyways, been able to see most of Italy, and the things that we've done, the things that we've been able to do with the liturgy and things like that, people have seen from all over the world, and so that's been very fortunate. And we see we've been very close to Father Stefano, because when we go to these different events, of course he's leading us in all these things. So for this past year, being here under the direction of Father Settimio, the apostolate's been traveling all over Italy and doing Italian things.
So you were stationed here in this house, but you were actually, a lot of the time, you were out of the house in Italy, different parts of Italy. Did you go to any other places other than Italy?
Yeah, they sent me to the Philippines for a month for the liturgy, and we had rice and fish every morning for breakfast. We had rice and fish for lunch, and we had rice and fish for dinner. And if there was a snack, they wouldn't really put out rice and fish, but the Philippines was an incredible. Our friars there they're
very faithful.
Yeah, they're incredible friars. So.
Yeah, I'm assuming you didn't pick up any Italian when you were in the Philippines, so that was another step back on your Italian language journey, correct?
One brother called me from Italy. I can't remember why, and he asked me some questions. I can't remember what, but I understood what he said. But I was, man, I can't say anything in this language, so you're gonna have to talk to me in English. For 3 weeks, I'd been speaking only English. I just couldn't say anything in Italian. So, see, it didn't help much, but it was a good experience.
So right now, the two of you are in studies, first year of philosophy.
Right.
How's that going so far? Father Settimio and Father Alessandro are your teachers, correct?
That's correct.
And all the studies are done in-house with the Franciscan Friars of the Immaculate. So philosophy and theology, Friars of the Immaculate teach us. So teaching's always very faithful to the church. How's that going so far?
It's going very well right now. We have, because our professors are excellent, as you said, that our professors are, our priests.
Mm-hmm.
So all the courses, the material is just strictly faithful to the church,
Jose Maria, what have you noticed about the culture here, even in the friary, that's a little different from the States?
Well, the culture, as Anthony said, no. In the Philippines, there's just rice and fish. In Italy, there's only pasta and wine. Pasta and wine. Pasta and wine. Pasta. So that's.
Okay. Well, I hope this has been educational for the faithful. I appreciate you guys sitting down and taking the time out of your busy schedule to interview me today, for me to interview you, excuse me. And I hope that people have enjoyed some of the scenes of Via Santa Lucia. And God willing, we'll have some more videos from the roving reporter from Italy. And this is Fra Terence again in Cassino, which is south of Rome. Ave Maria. God bless.